So you can come seated on your heels first. If you want, you can bring a towel between or a blanket between your buttocks and the heels. We will be working on some twists and some folds tonight. So whatever works for you. If you have a block also, you could even bring a block between your legs here and then sit on the block, kind of, if the heels is too far off. Yeah, so arrange yourself how it feels good for you. We'll later move into child's pose, so make sure that this is accessible to you. I have to check quickly if Regula messaged. No, okay. Good. You can close your eyes. Tonight I want to draw attention to our outermost layer, that is our biggest organ, really. Our skin, that is our interface with the environment. It is the layer where we make connection. So close your eyes and focus on your fingertips for a moment. Slowing down your breathing and starting to sense this slight pulsation in your fingertips. And then see if from there you can start to grow your attention throughout the layer of your skin, like it's spilling from your fingertips over your hands, over your arms and up towards your shoulder, like a layer of awareness starting to cover you. And let it grow from there to become aware of your entire skin. This layer where we make direct contact, and this layer where we transmit to the environment. If we become aware of our skin, you immediately become aware of your entire body. Let the inhale expand the skin around your chest, the back of your body. And the exhale, contract. See if you can bring the tips of your fingertips together so you make this intentional connection. And see if you can start to listen through your skin to the music. It is a layer of energetic listening, this skin. It is the transmitter of sound and vibrations into our nervous system. Today I watched this movie, this TED talk of this lady who is an outstanding percussionist. And if you see her and hear her on her instruments, it's just mind-blowing. And only after halfway through the video, they tell you that this lady is deaf since her childhood years. So she can't hear with her hearing organs, the ears, what sound she produces, yet every time her drumstick hits, one of her instruments, it's absolute perfection. And she says she perceives her music through her entire being. All her skin senses every smallest vibration, which lets her play on this absolutely outstanding level. So let this be your guiding intuition tonight, to make a connection to your practice, to the music, through your skin. And let the practice take you beneath the skin. So it's an inward oriented approach as well as outward. Then you can release the hands again, maybe drop them onto your thighs, make connection to the skin there, and maybe even very intentionally let the hands wander over a part of your body to become more aware of this also second breathing organ. So in Chinese medicine, the skin is considered the second lungs. And then you can start to move very gently forward to fold over your knees, to fold over your skin. And you can land, you can take this forward fold whichever way feels right to you. This is a somatic practice, so every movement that I give you is a milk container. And I want to invite you to find your own expression as you move from this skin layer. So watch if you can transfer the breathing more to the skin and see how inhales and exhales are not only part of your lungs, but affect your entire skin. You can bring the palms together behind your head, coming onto your elbows, and bring the bottom of your hands into that nook at the end of your skull where your neck begins. And see if you can direct inhales into that back of your brain, switching off the frontal lobe, which is where most of our thinking and actions that we consciously take from a headspace happen. And if we move more into this brainstem, this is where the embodied starts. The end of the spine where it feeds into the brain. So expand more into this back of your body, into the back of your head, the back of your upper back. And then let gently go of the hands, come back seated, rolling the spine onto your heels. And from here, see if you can start with the music as the next track begins to sway gently right and left, spilling the fluids that are beneath your skin from one side to the other, and let only that shift the movement. So again, this picture of you being filled with liquids, and as you spill them from one side to the other, your body moves. And for now, it's only a shifting of this liquid. You can start to change directions in whichever way it takes you forth and back. And let the spilling get bigger. Let it grow into bigger motions. Always being led not by the doing of this shape, but by being this inherently liquid you, filled with all the water that we once emerged from, this primordial ocean that is still within, and let it spill bigger from there. If you close your eyes, you can come back into this heightened sensory organ of your skin. And maybe you start to spill more forward, your hands coming to the mat. And in your own time, find your way into all fours, into a tabletop. And once you arrive in this tabletop, all fours position, come into this familiar container of a cat and cow. Again, letting the fluidity within you guide the motion and transmit it out into the skin, essentially swimming in your own space, spilling your liquidity into these familiar shapes of cats and cows. And if we move from this very deeply embodied way, the breath will very automatically align. So I will not give you much direction as to how to inhale and exhale here, because I made the experience that if you don't focus on it, it will fall into place much more naturally. Okay. Last few cats and cows here. Find maybe a bigger expression, including your head and neck. Good. And then you can let the left lower leg swing out, the right leg get long. Open the right arm over your head for this gentle side plank on the knee. Yes, exactly. The right foot is on the floor, it doesn't have to hover. So it's just an elongation of the right side body. Good. We'll do this a lot tonight. So bring the right hand back down. Left leg lengthens out, left foot plants down, right knee comes out, and the left arm swings open. Always being guided by that spinning, so you can really slow down the transitions. And coming back, meet me in all fours. Okay. You can tuck the toes here and spill your weight, your fluidity into a downward facing dog, in whichever way you want to arrive there. Beautiful. And from here, with the next exhale, spill your liquidity forward to come into this high plank. Bring the knees down to the floor and roll the body down, coming all the way to the mat. To then inhale into a gentle cobra. Tuck the toes and push back into a downward facing dog. Good, let's go again. Exhale to wave yourself forward. Staying in connection with the fingertips, with the skin, sink the hips down to the mat. Chest comes down all the way. Good. Inhale for connection to the heightened sensitivity of your skin, and exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Good. From here, look forward and walk yourself towards the hands. Good. Forward fold, spilling over your legs. Inhale for a gentle halfway lift. Good. And then inhale, come up to standing. And for a moment take Tadasana. And again, closing the eyes. First finding a moment of stillness, let this little sequence drop off and end. So last time we were focusing much on cycles that begin and end. So every time we finish a sequence, see if you can consciously let it come to an end before we start again. However, it needs to drop off. And then inhale the arms high. Exhale, bring the palms together again behind the head, bringing them to this brainstem. And let the back of your head lean into this space. Let the back body lean into this skin at the back end of your body. Gentle back bend if you will. And then exhale, drop it down forward, folding into Uttanasana. Good. Stepping back into a high plank. Knees come down to the floor, right leg gets long, left leg swings out, and right arm over the head for this low side plank variation. Good. Exhale, change sides, right hand comes down, right knee in, left leg gets long, right knee swings out. Good. And just for one breath, coming back here, tuck the toes, and push back into your downward facing dog. Good. And look forward between the hands, step forward, Uttanasana. Forward fold, bend the knees, sink the hips down, coming into gentle chair pose here. Let the movement come from the liquidity within. Spill it out into the limbs. Arms are high. Exhale, fold. Step the right foot back, right knee comes down to the mat. Inhale up from the center line through up into the upper limbs. And not only arms, upper limbs, but also your head, which is one of the other two limbs, head and tail. Good. Exhale, twisting, bring the right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, both arms up again. And then the right arm back, left arm forward, opening up. Good. See whether your hip can sink to the floor, your back foot can be tucked or flat. Inhale, come up high and twist again to the left. And then bring the palms together in front of your chest. And the right arm outside the left thigh for low lunge twist. Let the palms meet and the skin connect. And see how sensitive your skin is. From there, let it ripple through. Tuck the back toes and lift off into a high lunge twist. Good. Nice. And then from there, we transition. Open the arms, open, coming into warrior two. Exactly, letting yourself twist open. Good. Lean into this back body again. See if you can close your eyes for a moment here. You can also bring the hands again together and behind your back to lean into the thumbs here. So I have my thumbs at the brainstem really, where the neck ends and the skull begins. And you can lean into this back body from here. Nice. Keeping this down, this warrior two shape for one more breath. And then from there, let it spill out, open and lengthen the front leg. Bring the left hand towards the shin, and the right arm high. Trikonasana. Good. Good, and then we're coming to an ending, so we're rising, staying, and now coming to an ending, bring the right hand down, frame the front foot, step back into your high plank. And in your own way, find into a forward fold. Maybe you want to flow through a gentle vinyasa here, as we did before, coming all the way down. Or your body is telling you some other transition. Listen to whatever is coming up through the skin. Let it arise and take you into the being rather than the doing. And meet in forward fold. And let it drop off. Whatever happened, happened, and is not the being state anymore. Whatever is coming up is the future, not the being. And then from there, let it arise again, coming up into standing. Maybe the music takes you through the skin, and exhale, bend the knees, sit back into chair pose. Good. Let the breath expand the entire skin. If you start to really draw attention into that, I start to feel like my entire skin is pulsating. Exhale to spill the weight forward into a forward fold. Plant the hands. And then step the right foot back. No, the left foot back, sorry. And low lunge. Good. Inhale to come up. Exhale to twist. Right arm comes back, left arm forward. Good. Arms are parallel. Good. Inhale, bring both arms high again. Exhale, open to the left side. Also twisting. Inhale, come back into the counter twist. Right arm reaches back, left arm forward. And then bring the hands to heart center. Plant the elbow to the upper arm and let the connection get deeper here. Let it twist you into a deeper sensation of being enveloped in your skin. And if you want, you can lift the back knee off the mat. Good. Maybe also here you can close the eyes and become aware of the skin at your back body. And then let it spill open, spill out, open the arms, unwind the twist, and come into your warrior two. It's a big transition, so take your time to get there. From this brainstem, and from there, the back of your body, the spine, the back body, let it spill out into your limbs, into the fingers and toes. Then bring the hands back to above your head and behind, so you can lean into this little pillow that your thumbs form. And becoming aware of the back body is a beautiful somatic experience because we're always so forward directed. Inhale to open up again, spill open into Trikonasana. Right arm reaches forward and comes down to the shin. Maybe you need more time to get there. So don't do just the poses I give you as a container, but use them just as an invitation for something familiar, and everything else is up to your own body. Exhale to come in, bring it to an end. Again, now here you can spill out of this familiar container and find your own way into a forward fold. And in those moments of silence, see if your body can become loud. If you can now, as you fold over your skin, let it all drop off again. Good, only to then let it arise anew. From here, grow open, grow bigger into standing pose. Again, hands behind the back to lean into those closed hands. Good. We'll do the same again because repetition creates familiarity and makes us more comfortable to spill out of this familiarity again. So exhale to fold forward. Right foot steps back, right knee comes down. Inhale, lift into a low lunge. And exhale, twist. Good. Inhale to lift, sink deeper into your skin layer and dive beneath. So see what happens if you bring awareness below this lowest part of your skin. And then bring hands to heart center in your twist. Right elbow to the left thigh and connect. Connection is why we're here, Brené Brown says. This lady that researches on vulnerability and shame. Inhale to spill open into your warrior two. Good. Exhale, bring the hands behind the back, behind the brainstem to lean. Yes. And then from there, grow open into this Trikonasana shape. Sort of flowing, shifting your liquidity into this familiar form. But if your limbs want to do something else and want to move in any other direction, in any other rhythm, you don't have to cling to the standard shape of this Trikonasana. Look forward and see if the liquidity, the weight can spill forward, bend the front knee, left hand comes down, right leg floats up gently into Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Maybe a block under the hand if you need it, or gently bend the standing leg, which makes it a bit easier to balance here. Okay. Right foot is guiding this pose, so where the right leg points, your energy will flow. Good. And then right hand comes down, sort of flowing through in standing splits. Bend the right leg and grab a hold of the left foot with the left hand, of the right foot with the left hand, if you can. Otherwise, keep the hand down and just guide the right knee behind the left and sink it down to the floor, coming down into seated. Good. So now my left foot is outside my right thigh, and the right leg is bent. Yeah. Good. Looks like this. Good. So right leg is first straight and then bend it through. Left foot comes outside. Good. Inhale, arms high. Yes, exhale, hug that left thigh in towards your chest. The left arm can come behind you as sort of a kickstand and twist yourself to the left. If you want to deepen this, you can bring the right arm high and then the right upper arm inside the left thigh to twist deeper. See how your skin shapes with you, sort of envelops your entire fluidity. It has this extraordinary pliability and flexibility and durability while covered in sensory receptors to take all this information from around you and guide it into the nervous system that takes it to the muscles, into your spinal fluid and up to this brainstem into the brain. Release that bind, that twist. Unfold the legs to bring them forward and come to an ending of the sequence again. So you can drop it off in whichever form it drops off you. Maybe you fold just forward, maybe you come to a lying position. So just let it drop off you. And actually consciously bring this sequence to an end. The skin has a highly intuitive quality to it, so this intuition is what we're wanting to unravel. Good. Nice. And then from here, bring the legs forward in front of you. We're starting again, so let the movement arise again from that gentle shift of liquidities within you. Arms come high. Bend the knees generously, exhale, reach for the left foot with the right hand. Good. I'm doing it the opposite so you guys can see it, but reach towards that foot so your chest wants to dive forward and the right arm reaches back for this twist. If you can't reach the foot, bend the knees more, and then from there start to lengthen out the legs and twisting yourself back. Good. Amazing. Inhale to drop it off. Come back upward. Let it arise. And exhale, second side, right. Left hand reaches for the right foot. First, reach and lift your chest up and then twist yourself backward. Left arm is reaching back. Good. If your heels want to slide away from you, then let them. But even with a bend in the knees, this is a beautiful twist. So don't let the mind take you into how a pose, a shape has to look, but trust your entire harmony, symphony of bodily functions. Inhale to come back into the middle. Good. Exhale, bring the hands right and left, coming to a cross-legged, and then from there onto your shins. Good. Hands come by your side. If you have blocks, you can bring blocks. Otherwise, try without. If it doesn't lift off, it's fine. But maybe you can come onto the fingertips or onto the fingers and lifting the palms away. We're going to lift off into Lolasana. So a moment of a lot of strength and power. Inhale to lift the chest first, create length. And then exhale to curl in. Draw the navel in, empty the front body of air, and then lift the knees off the mat. Maybe just the knees are lifting and your feet are still connected. Maybe one foot or both feet are also lifting off. Yes, good. The arms are long and strong by your side. Gaze goes inward. It helps to really crunch the back here. Crunch the front, sorry. Around the back. Yes, good stuff. And then gently drop it off. Good. Let's come back into a forward fold. Good. And from there, let it arise again. Come up to standing. for the second side. Exhale, fold, drop it forward, step the left foot back. Left knee comes down to the mat. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, twist. Okay. Inhale, lift and open towards the left. And twist to the right. Hands come together. And plant the elbow outside the thigh. The upper arm outside the thigh. Connect. Let the fingertips guide. Tuck the back toes if you will and lift into high lunge twist. Good. So even the feet, their sensors are so good that the balancing act starts there, right? And then unravel to open up into this warrior two shape. Hands come behind the lower head at the brainstem, where we drop into to release the frontal lobe, this thinking mind of yours. Okay. Lean into this back body as you spill the weight into a Trikonasana. Front leg lengthens, right hand comes down. Good. Again, your left arm can do whatever it needs to do. If it wants to move differently, especially if the music tells it to. Good. Then spill the weight forward, bend the front knee. Right hand plants in front of the right foot. Step the back foot a bit closer first. And only then start to lift and float, arising. Good. Be this Ardha Chandrasana instead of doing it. So rather than trying to take a shape that you think it needs to look like, maybe your limbs are moving differently than just hovering still. Maybe an opening occurs from a space deeper within than what your mind is telling you this has to look like. Good. And then bring the left hand down also for a standing splits. And guide the left knee behind the right, bending the left knees generously. So you're crossing your legs. And then bring the left shin to the floor and the buttocks also. Good. I know it's some coordination effort. Left, right. Good. Inhale, arms come high. Exhale to twist. Right hand behind, left arm hugs in the thigh. Other side, Nicole. Yes. Good. If you want, you can bring the left arm high and bring the upper arm inside the right thigh, if you want. Good. And then close the eyes. See how your skin twists into this knot. And how you become even more aware of its availability. Your hand is very close to your face now, so in the face and in the hands we have the most sensory receptors in the skin. So even though your hand is not touching your face, with closed eyes you can feel that it's there. So your skin is so strong in receiving and transmitting information that it doesn't even need to be touched. There's an energetic awareness of what's happening around you that goes beyond the physical touch that you know something. Inhale once more here to lengthen. With the exhale, draw yourself deeper into the twist. And from there you can let it drop off. In your own time, unwind. And let it fall off, dropping into rest in whichever shape that comes for you. Good. And as you rest in a being state, as you fold over your skin here, see if you can dive deeper beneath your skin, where you can connect to the fluidity within. And even though you're resting in stillness, our body is never fully still. There's this underlying pulsation and waves that oscillates through your body, then emerges somewhere deep within and ripples out into these finest little ends of your skin, the little hairs on your skin. And if you flow with this oscillation, let arise what is arising for you. Good. And then from here, let it emerge again, the movement. Let the liquidity start to spill you open into an upright position. And then start the motion again from this gentle sway of pouring this bowl of water within you, right and left, front and back. And letting the movement get bigger. Let it ripple out into the skin. And then let it grow bigger and bigger, including let it spill it out into the limbs. Maybe just arms, maybe your legs start to move. However, this starts to emerge from you. And let that transport you into a standing position again. In your own way and in your own time. So whichever emerges for you, let it carry you into standing. Rather than doing and moving yourself into standing, let it arise. And once you're here, you can bring the arms back up and lean into the Anjali Mudra at the back of your brain. If you want, you can also extend the arms back and lean into the back body with extended arms. That's a bit harder. And inhale to come back into standing. Bring the right knee in to the chest. Balance with an open gaze, so whether fixating or not, see that you can soften everything. And then wrap your right leg over your left, bending the left knee gently, arms open out, into Garudasana legs. Maybe you wrap once or twice, it doesn't matter. You can also use the right toes here on the side as a kickstand if the bouncing is too hard. Nice, and then wrap the left arm underneath the right for full Garudasana. So making full contact with your own skin, whether through layers of clothing or not. You're intersecting with yourself. Draw it all in, bringing the elbows into the navel. Curling, coiling in, creating more contact. And then let it spill out, unwind, slowly open up. And send the right leg back into warrior three. And from there, let the left hand come down, opening up into this Ardha Chandrasana. Yes, amazing. Let it spill out, let the limbs take the shapes they want, while staying in this familiar container of the half moon pose. And then let the right foot drop back, coming back into our warrior two. Good. Inhale to lean again into the back body here. Hands behind the back to drop into the awareness of the skin along your back, the back of your legs, the back of your head. Inhale to spill open into this Trikonasana we've taken multiple times now. Good, and exhale to bend the front knee, frame the front foot. Bring the right knee down into our low lunge. And then frame the front foot again without twisting the low lunge. And wiggle your left foot towards the right hand to bring the front knee down, front leg down into pigeon prep. Yes, so the left foot comes to the right hand. If you want to make it easier for yourself, bring the foot closer to the hips, and there's no shame in this, by the way, if you want to make it easier for yourself. Good, if your buttocks is floating, so the left buttocks is not touching the mat, you can bring something underneath here. You can't see, I'll show you the other side. So here, if this is not on the mat, but floating, bring something here so you can steady it out. Good. So let the pigeon sink in for a moment. Nice. Bring the left hand to the left thigh so you can rest here. Bend the right knee and grab a hold of the right foot with the right hand. See what happens when I do this. My hips lift off. So you can use the front leg here to lift the hips up. Good. Exactly. Yes, good stuff. The left hand on the thigh helps because it's more elevated. If it's on the floor, it's kind of harder because it'll tip over. So bring the left hand here. Yes, and twist over the right shoulder back towards your right foot. Nice. Even though this is a more effort, this pose, see if you can repose into it. See if you can stop doing it and become this shape, because you already are. And then gently, without slingshotting it, let it go. And fold yourself into your forward fold pigeon. So let it drop off, coming to an end. Finding back into stillness. If you rest on your forearms or on your hands, it doesn't matter. And from there, let the breath expand again into the back of your head, into the back of your lungs. That reach almost from your shoulder blades down to past your lowest rib. Expanding the back part of your lung. Let it transmit it out into that energetic plane of your skin. And our skins, they tell stories. They tell the stories of what we embody within. They're transmitting the samskaras, those embodied sensations, experiences, trauma that we store at the base of muscles and bones. Let it drop off. And then let the breath start to awaken you again. Let the breath ripple out into muscles and liquidity. And from there spill yourself into a more activated pose again. Lifting the chest, walking the hands back in. And from there step back into a plank pose. Good. Bring the left knee down, the right foot comes to the mat. Left shin spills out, coming into our low lunge, side plank variation. If you want, you can let the right leg float off to expand like a jellyfish into all directions, or like a starfish. Letting the limbs, all 6 of them, reach into different directions. Exhale to drop back in, changing sides. Right knee twists out, left leg gets long, left arm comes over the head. Good. Twisting the chest open towards the ceiling. This also is an opening twist. You can let the left foot float off, let it spill out into all directions. Tentacles, if you want. And then bring it back in. All 4s, tuck the toes and lift off into your downward facing dog. Okay. Looking forward, spilling into a forward fold in your own way, either hopping or stepping or wandering your way there. Good. And from there, rise again, float up into a standing position, arms behind you, hands interlace, meet. Lean into this back bend. Maybe arms lengthen for a bigger lever. And inhale, bring it back in. Left knee draws inward. Coming into the second side here. Draw it in. And then arms come out for balance. Left knee wraps over the right. You have to bend the right knee to make this possible here. Good. And then the right arm underneath the left for full Garudasana, full contact of your skin. Good. Wrapping once or twice, doesn't matter. Inhale to lift, and then exhale to curl, coil in, making more contact, smalling the pose, the space that you take up. Good. And from there, let the liquidity spill out into the limbs, unwind. Good, and send the left leg back into our warrior three. Arms can be by your side, making it a bit easier, or hands at heart center. And then bring the right hand down to the mat, left arm opens into this Ardha Chandrasana. Good. And let the skin receive the music as you spill down into our warrior two. Left hand, foot comes down, arms parallel for a moment before you draw them back in and behind the head to lean into the back body. Good. Inhale to open back up, the front leg lengthens, arm reaches forward and drop the weight forward into this Trikonasana. Good. And then as if you would feel a draw by the gravity, let the left hand come in, let yourself drop down, left knee comes down. Inhale to emerge again into your low lunge. Good. See that you can listen with your entire being. Exhale, hands come down. Wiggle the right foot to the left hand to bring the shin down. Good. Nice. Inhale to lift the chest. Maybe again you want to bring something underneath your right buttocks this time to align the hips so they're both on the same level. Good. Nice. Right hand on the right thigh here. And then bend the left knee, reaching the foot towards the back of your head, and reach the left arm around, grabbing a hold of the left foot. Good. Draw it in. Twisting over your left shoulder backwards. Good. Use the right hand here to really let it create a lift for you. Good. And as you're falling now, you're at the end of the cycle, as you know by now. Let it start to drop off. Let the process begin here. Let it begin from the outside inward or from the inside out. So from your skin layer into what's beneath, into the liquidity of your body, into the muscles. Let go of the foot. Twist back forward and hook your hands. Letting it drop off the bones, giving up on any alignment. And finally getting a let go from your spine and from the back of your brain. Let it spiral off you into the tips of your fingers. Using that extensive layer of your skin to transport everything outward of you, handing it over to the universe. Let it come at its own pace. If there's the smallest movements that still have to happen before you can drop it off, let them happen. Don't decide that the ending is it. Let it happen. And then from the depth of your being, let it arise again. Let movement start to ripple out through the spine into muscles and liquidity out into the skin. Arise again. Let it spill you forward and upward, walking the hands slowly back in. And find your way back into all fours. Maybe over plank, maybe you want to flow through another vinyasa, another cobra, even another downward dog. Flow at your own desire. And not your mind's desire, not what you think you should do, not what's coded in there, but what your being state is telling you to do. And then find your way into all fours. Good. Let the hips sway right and left while your hands stay grounded, the arms long, top of the feet are down so you can sway right and left. Good. Maybe you want to start to draw circles. Swaying right and left and then forward, in and down and back. Okay. We will arise one last time into standing. So end the circling, come back into middle, tucking your toes and lifting yourself up into another downward dog. Good. This forward folding, this inward folding, folding over your skin, take it with you. Step the left foot forward and walk the hands in line with both feet, twisting both toes to the long side edge of the mat. Yes, wide leggeds, forward fold. And here also, before you fold, let the body arise, or what's embodied. So maybe you want to even come up and expand all limbs once more before you draw them in. Maybe you're swaying, bending knees right and left. This free flowing out of containers, familiar containers, and back into them is a somatic way to encourage a movement that doesn't come from the mind and from a sequence that you're told. And then drop it off into this wide-legged forward fold. Drop the crown of your head towards the mat. Hands can be in line with your feet, or they can hold on to your ankles. Shift the weight, the liquidity, the bowl of water into the back body, into the back of the legs, into the back of your lungs. Good. Inhale to lift yourself halfway up, crawl the hands forward. And exhale, walk them both to the right foot, outside edge of the right foot or the right shin. One last twist, right arm comes high, left hand holds on to the right shin or the left foot, the right foot. Inhale to lift yourself long and elongate into the back of the lungs. And exhale to twist. and drop it off. Drop it all back into the middle. Trickle it off you. Let it arise again, hands walk forward and over to the left side. Grab a hold of the outside edge of the left foot, left shin, especially with the right hand as the left one rises high, twisting you. Chest points over to the left side. Nice. One last inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to twist your skin. Let it express out into the fingertips. And then exhale, drop it off. Walk the hands to the front foot. And bring both knees down into all fours. Nice. And sit back onto heels. Drop the head down into a child's pose. Meet the hands behind the brainstem. Arriving onto the full surface of your mat. Begin again at the fingertips to gather the pieces again. And let it radiate out from there. Your awareness, let it crawl, spill, spiral over your skin into the back of your head, down your spine. Let it envelop you, and then drop the hands back down. Come back up for seated. Swing the legs forward. If you want to keep your eyes closed, you can just follow cues. Good. Inhale to bring the arms high. Exhale to hug yourself forward. Let the lower arms cross behind the thighs, maybe bending the knees more for this to happen. To drop the head forward. Inhale to release, come out like tentacles of a jellyfish. Reach them out, lift both feet off the mat for a Navasana boat pose. And then let the jellyfish. So spill the limbs out into all sides, draw them back in. Let them float as if you're moving through honey. So there's a certain resistance in this water-like environment that you're in. Good. Jellyfish out. Amazing. And if a sound emerges, let it go, open your mouth and let it release. Maybe a deep woo sound from the bottom of your being. And then hug your knees in, maybe your feet touch down, bring your forehead to the knees. Now, as you drop down onto your mat with the back, lead from the skin again, the back of your spine, starting to unfurl the bottom, the tail end first, then throughout your entire row of vertebrae, they unravel down to the mat. Good. Nice. lengthen the left leg out, right knee comes in towards the chest. Then lengthen the right leg out, grab a hold behind the right thigh. And then long as it is, bring that right leg over towards the left side, or you can bend it, up to you, for a gentle last twist. And use these last minutes of the practice to let the ending arise very naturally from within. So you're not ending the practice because you're told to, but because it actually expressed itself. If any last movements need to happen, let them happen. If you want to come out of the twist and do something else, if this needs to be deeper for you or have a different expression, and then let's change the sides, come back into the middle. Let the right foot slide out, bringing the left one in, first hugging that knee into the chest. Dropping off that muscular tension, lengthen it out, supported through the touch between hands and legs. And then drop the foot out towards the right side. Supporting, guiding with your palm resting on that thigh or leg. See if you can bring your attention to those intersecting pieces of your body. And as the last track arises, let the music carry your ending with it. Inhale, come back into the middle. And then the last moments of your ending, let them express. If you want to take another shape, a somatic form with your body, if anything else needs to drop off before you can come into a moment of stillness. So happy baby, or any familiar container, or anything that's not even yoga. Maybe you want to bring the palms of your hand to float over your face without touching, but becoming so aware of the information that is flowing on this very subtle level on all these different channels. And from there, let the hands wander over your body as your body starts to drop off any last shapes. Maybe you want to even create actual contact between your body and your hands and let them wander. Or if you just want to follow this energetic communication between your hands and the rest of you. And then arriving in your Shavasana. if you now would like to rest in Shavasana longer, which after this kind of practice makes even more sense than normally, you can do this. Just ignore the camera or turn it off and stay where you are. Alternatively, you can start to bring motion back into your shape. Let tingling and movement and maybe even sounds arise. Maybe something is still dropping off. Often this has even a vocal expression. And then you can find back into a cross-legged seat. Hands out onto the knees again. One last time, the attention to the fingertips. And then like magnets, draw the palms of your hands together and be fully conscious of when the fingertips meet. The rest of your palms meet. Closing this practice. Bring your hands to your forehead, bow, speak your own silent grace, and thank you for these teachings that we get to share